I'm white, right? But guess what? I don't owe you anything. I never owned anyone. I don't owe you anything.
Bingo. Let me remind you that we live in America. We literally have opportunities here that people are dying for. Does that mean that we shouldn't focus on bettering the system? No, that's not what I'm saying, so don't even try to go there. But if you're a Black American and you're living in America and you're focused on getting Black people reparations, you've missed it. The boat is gone and you've missed it.
Hello everybody, welcome once again to AfriPost. I believe wherever you're watching us from, you're doing great. Now, in today's video, I want us to watch a clip of a white person coming out and talking about the question of reparations and saying some of the worst words I've ever heard of in recent times. Because for him, he believes that as a white person, he owes a Black person nothing. And therefore, Black people should not come up and start claiming for reparations from people who are alive now, yet those who persecuted them, those who forced them into labor have died, and there are people who lived in the past. Let's watch this video and then the reactions that people gave about his comments, and then let's comment about it later. Take a listen.
It's always pay your debts until the topic of reparations comes up. Have we reached such a privileged point in our society that we have to look into history in order to find things to fix rather than fixing problems that are right in front of us? The reason nobody talks about the debts of reparations is because the people who owe the debts are not alive. Now, y'all don't want to say it, but I'll say it because whatever. I'm white, right? But guess what? I don't owe you anything. I never owned anyone. I don't owe you anything. And nobody will say it, but I don't. Nobody is responsible for the crimes of their ancestors. If that's the case, then every single one of us would owe every single one of us something, because throughout history, every single person, regardless of skin color, has been owned. So what point of history are we going to be focusing on? The last 100 years, or the last 200, or 300, or 400? Or maybe we can focus on the future and focus on creating a future where skin color doesn't matter. And I already know I'm going to get called the R word that ends in cis. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm the one that's going to say I don't owe reparations. But the truth is, the people who think you still need reparations today are the people you should be looking at. They actually think you can't succeed based off of your own merit and that you need help from everybody else in order to succeed in this country. And isn't it ironic that the people who are saying this are the ones who are the most successful in our country? The ones who are saying that you need reparations to succeed when they didn't need them? Shouldn't they be a prime example that success is possible? No. It's because they don't believe that you're as capable as they are. If we want skin color to not have any merit on how much you can contribute to society, then we have to stop putting so much emphasis on it. I don't owe you anything.
Let me tell you something, homeboy. The people that you are placating for, the hetero white male group of this society, the people that you just kind of blend in with, they don't mean you no good. You are a gay white male in this country. And I'll let you in on a little fact. More Black people vote for your right to be a gay white male in this country than the white men you're trying to protect right now. Just remember that.
I never owned anyone.
The last time I checked, has any Black person come to your house, Mr. Clarkson, and asked you for money? Has any Black person asked you for a check? Has anybody come to you and said you got to sign a check for Black people? Because the last time I checked, reparations is from the United States federal government. But, you know, let's spread the misinformation. Let's talk out of our ass. Let's post it on TikTok for other people to see that misinformation. Let's just do that. First of all, reparations is not about cutting a check. It's not only getting what was promised, 40 acres and a mule, but also payment for all of the shit that our ancestors endured in this country. Y'all love to talk about slavery being the reason why people want reparations, but did y'all forget Jim Crow existed? Did y'all forget that they burnt down cities and towns of Black businesses that could be billion-dollar businesses today? We as Black people pay taxes in this motherfucking country, and there are still places in this country that we can't even step foot in at a certain time because of people that don't like us. Or what about Japanese people? The Civil Liberties Act of 1988 gave surviving Japanese Americans reparations and a formal apology by President Reagan for their incarceration during World War II. But why you ain't make no video about that? Where that video at on your page? Do those Japanese people need that money? Would they have been fine without that money? Yes. Do they need that money? Probably not. But does that mean that something happened to them and they needed to be compensated for what happened? Yes. And no amount of money in this entire world will be able to right the wrongs of slavery in those 400 years and any of that. No money at all. So there is no monetary value that we can even put on the death and suffering of Black and brown people. But America is one of the only places where everybody likes to rewrite history every single year, act like things don't exist. Germany has been paying Holocaust survivors for 70 years to the tune of $1.4 billion. Do Jewish people need that? Probably not. Would they be perfectly fine without it? Probably. Are they perfectly fine without it? Probably. But Germany is compensating these people for something wrong that they did. And then at the end of your video, you had the audacity to talk about we need to stop putting emphasis on skin color. Well, whoop the fuck you. We would love for that to not be the case. But guess what? People that look like this don't want that to happen. Our skin color is still a big deal to some people in this country, and they are doing everything that they can to make sure that we suffer. What you need to do is take your ass to Starbucks and mind your damn business.
Then we have to stop putting so much emphasis on it.
Clarkston Lawson, is this you? Of course it is. The first thing is that you should pay reparations to black women for stealing their mannerisms, but I digress. Also, I really get tired of you translucent, sour cream hued escapees from the Caucasus Mountain glowworm troglodytes hopping on Beyonce's internet like you're onto something when it comes to issues that affect the black community. And I can tell you're not the one with the reading comprehension gene and that family wreath of a tree of yours. I mean the wreath not at Christmas time, but the one you take to funerals. But this is what reparations are. There are 5 steps to reparations, and because you don't even bother to look up definitions of words, you only think you know about compensation and the others, like making sure that the action that led to this condition never happen again, or to restore the injured party to the status they were prior to the actions that was taken. And then, like I say, compensation, then satisfaction of knowing that those things will not happen, and also addressing the generational trauma that was caused by them, and of course rehabilitation. But that will require you having an education, which you obviously don't. So let's take your video point by point, and I will eviscerate it at its base.
Have we reached such a privileged point in our society that we have to look into history in order to find things to fix rather than fixing problems that are right in front of us?
Bullshit fallacy number 1. How do we fix a problem today when we don't know where the roots of that problem even lie in history, or what has not worked to fix that problem? You know, sort of like why we have Pride Month, to commemorate an act that started on a path to get somewhere that we needed to be as a society that we still haven't got to. So we're just supposed to throw that history away and just say we'll figure it out as we go. Yeah, you sound stupid. And your mom dresses you funny, but that's a whole nother conversation. Let's move on.
The reason nobody talks about the debts of reparations is because the people who owe the debts are not alive.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. When you don't even take the opportunity to read or do any research on your own, and you know that reparations, those 5 points I put up earlier, are not just covering the 246 years of chattel slavery in this country, but the 100 years of Jim Crow afterwards, and the civil rights movement that has been going on up until today. But let's digress from that point for a moment. And you think that you all got to this $124.5 trillion in assets in this country compared to the $8 trillion in assets of this country held by black people because your ancestors worked so hard for it, right? Yeah, since you don't believe that there's no one alive today that was enslaved or in some way or shape or form suffers from that slavery, then you must be also down with the fact that the people that are enjoying the benefit of their ancestors having to enslave a whole group of people in this country for 246 years, that all that wealth should also be redistributed to the people who actually did the work, right? Yeah, I bet.
If we want skin color to not have any merit on how much you can contribute to society, then we have to stop putting so much emphasis on it.
Did you really fix your lips to say that if we want skin color to not have any merit on what we can contribute to your society, a society that has exploited the skin color of black and brown people to build itself? And now you want to think the conversation is about us not wanting our skin color to interfere with what we can commit to your society? No, this conversation is about what your society can do for the black and brown people that is exploited historically in order for you to have that over $125 trillion in assets. Yeah, back to what I was saying. You're stupid and your mother dresses you funny. And I meant everything I said with the utmost disrespect. Now you have the day you deserve.
Always pay your debts until the topic of reparations comes up.
You know, it will never cease to amaze me how a white man will get on the internet and tell black people what they don't deserve, all while cosplaying the stereotype of a black woman. See, Clarkson, your entire personality you owe to a black woman. The neck popping, the finger pointing, all of it, boo, you stole from a black woman. So while you and the racist ass maggots in your comment section that agree with you seem to believe that you don't owe us anything because the people that committed slavery are dead, how about you start with giving us back our personality? We'll take everything else later.
Nobody is responsible for that.
Imagine sitting there using a bunch of gestures and mannerisms that black people have made popular throughout our history in the United States. So trying to align yourself with black culture and the things that you're doing, whilst also trying to dissociate yourself from the things that your ancestors have done to black people. That's fucking crazy. But you know what? Let's talk about the concept of not being responsible for your parents, grandparents, or ancestors' actions. Because that concept only comes up when we talk about paying reparations to black people. Nobody ever says, oh, well, the baby boomers wasn't responsible for World War II, so why were they responsible for their tax dollars having to go towards rebuilding Europe via the Marshall Plan? Nobody ever says that the generation of post-World War II babies was responsible for the internment of Japanese Americans, so why are their tax dollars going to paying the reparations of Japanese Americans? Huh? Why do you only bring this up when you talk about black people? Let's talk about it. Like, bro, even former fucking slave owners got reparations. One thing that I also want to introduce in this conversation is how white Americans love to use collective terms of ownership when they're talking about something positive that's happening in United States history. Like, oh, we won our independence from Britain. We defeated the Soviets in the space race. We defeated the Nazis in World War II and the Japanese in World War II. But anytime there's something bad, now you want to dissociate. That wasn't we, that was somebody else. Oh, that wasn't we that enslaved black people. Those were other people. See how that works? Kind of crazy, ain't it, huh?
Now, listening to the guy, for me, it's kind of, I don't know what to say about him, because he has displayed some level of lack of knowledge of the impact of slavery and racial discrimination against the black person. You'd realize that most of these blacks were brought into United States as slaves, and they were owned by white slave owners. So the first thing that is here is that this slave issue brought a lot of pain to those who underwent them. There are families that were broken. In fact, it is stated that 1 in 3 families were broken because of slavery. People who had families in Africa, mostly in West Africa, were taken away from their families and shipped across the sea to United States. And this really brought what we have today as black Americans. But just forget about slavery for some moment, because people would say that slavery existed in years ago and therefore it is something that ended, so we should not concentrate on it. But the kind of sufferings that these people went through and then the discrimination that followed later is something that is really despicable for me. You'd realize that I don't know what this guy is thinking when he's saying that this is free money that should not really be given to them. I want to tell you that from statistics in the United States, it is said that white privilege has led to an average white family owning 10 times wealth that a black average family can have. It is also said that a white college dropout is wealthier than a graduate black person. Why is this happening? Racial disparity is evident in United States. And therefore, one thing that must happen here is that there should should be a level playing field to ensure that those who have been systematically deprived of the rights that they should have get compensated. The question about reparations, when it comes to payment of reparations to black people, there everybody has a question. But then, is reparations new to United States? No. Native Americans have had reparations. They've been given their land. They've also been given billions of dollars. And this is something that has not been fought against by the white person. Japanese Americans have also been paid for engagement in World War II. They were paid close to 1.5 billion for those people who were engaged in those kind of war. We also have the Jews. American Jews have been reparated. Their businesses have been supported. And to date, they continue to be fought for because of the challenges they went through during Holocaust. Now, when we talk about the black person, why is the measurement changing? Why is everybody now coming out and talking against it? I really like the kind of comments that those who reacted towards this video have given. They have really put this guy to his place, because how on earth does he come up? He does not have little understanding of the impact of slavery and racial discrimination. He does not have any understanding of the kind of disparities that exist within the United States towards black people. And for him, it's like reparations only comes in terms of payment of some money. Yes, I don't deny the fact that there is need for some money to be paid. But first of all, let us ask ourselves this. The people who built United States are the blacks. These are the people who led the industrial revolution of the country. The black people, because they were forced into manual labor, hard labor without pay. Surely, when there is time for payment for these kind of activities, isn't it right for those who really conducted these egregious injustices to really pay for their sins? They must pay back to the black person. I believe that a normal white American must have an understanding and must appreciate that blacks within United States went through some of the worst moments of their lives, and the only thing that should be done is reparations. And reparations comes in different forms. It may come as an apology. It may come as setting up of regulations and rules to ensure that state-sanctioned racial discrimination that has permeated within United States society is eliminated. Education is improved towards blacks. Kind of market opportunities, job opportunities, pay gap that has existed between whites and blacks is sorted out. So this is really something that is important for ensuring that reparations is sorted within United States. I don't know what's your opinion. Please tell me your opinion down in the comment section. And I believe that it is a topic that must be talked about. It is a topic that really must be brought out to fore, because it really is evident that most people are not understanding the kind of challenges that a black person goes through to be where they are right now in the United States. So let this discussion continue in the comment section. Please, if you're watching us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and also share. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you.